Namaste Hexicans, how is everyone? Uh, we have with our usual guest Marcus from the beekeeping world, uh, and I would like to congratulate everyone on the second year of the Hex Guild. Man, time flies so fast, and we are slowly gaining steam. Like, yeah, I've seen like in the past couple of months we have the Hex Guild Telegram group as well as the YouTube channel has gained a lot of subscribers. So thanks everyone for joining us. Sadly, we cannot have Davin joining us today. I have no idea. He's probably traveling. So, or maybe he's just late on his morning coffee and may join in later. Our other regular co-host Finbear is busy painting his basement where he can shelter his chicken for the winter, or maybe that's what he said, but I think he is doing it so that he can hide his chicken from the Finnish government. But hey, that's just me and my conspiracy theory. Let's see. I will address a few people in chat. Our regulars, Marcavelli, Hexonair, and we have a lazy Hexican joining us today. Nice to see everyone.
Hey
And
guys.
of course, Hexwood. So Marcus, I think I know you guys did already a big separate video on Divin's other channel, Hex Futures. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. But so, what was your experience with the highest of stakes?
I thought it was put together pretty
The
well.
thoughts?
It was unbiased. It didn't really seem like it was biased. It seemed pretty middle of the road. So I think it was good for new viewers, anyways, or new potential people to get into crypto in general. It wasn't. It was focused on Hex. That's what it was focused on. But it talked about crypto in general, and I think it was overall put together well. I enjoyed it. I think it opens up the door to another video that could come out in a potential near future.
That's nice. And but what I really wanted to know was there any juicy gossip to talk about regarding the after party after the movie was like you guys watched the movie? I know you guys were moving to an after party like event. So anything fun happening there?
Just some drinking and hanging out with new people, and normal after party type of stuff. I don't think it got too wild. Probably all tied up by midnight or so it wasn't that late. Trying to be adults about the subject, I
uh,
guess.
okay. I want to dig in deeper and more than this. I'm just making small talk so that we can have more viewers as the stream gets like pushed on to other uh, platforms. I already did tweeted. Um, Other than that, so
We went to an arcade and had dinner and whatnot, and I mean, I got to meet a whole pile of different people from Texas specifically. I was in Austin with Eco Builder, and that was a lot of fun. Always meeting new people is a good deal. You get to put a face to the name, I guess, put it to you that way. And yeah, it was a really good time. I think everybody had a good time. Uh, the we heard about the video that was played in, I believe it was South Carolina. That wasn't the highest of stakes movie, and they were watching it, I guess, for a number of minutes before they realized it wasn't the highest of stakes movie. So those guys, I don't know if they got refunded or got to go to another showing, but that was kind of crazy. That was kind of an exciting thing, I guess, that happened. Oh, it is hot.
Yeah, yeah, happens, man. Like human errors occur everywhere, but kind of crazy. Other than that, anything specific? Do you have any specific things to discuss? Anything you want to warn us about what's happening to the bees in the USA?
Uh,
You are our apiary expert.
well, it's in the northern part of the states. It's getting to be honey pulling time. Most everybody's got their honey off by this time, I hope, and it's getting to be the point where feeding and making sure mites are under control. That's a really big time, because we're getting to be to where they're raising their winter brood now. So the bees that are going to last for 4 or 5 months. So you got to have healthy bees to raise them, or else they'll be unhealthy, and you lose your colonies that way. But yeah, feeding. I know I cooked up 1,000 pounds of sugar the other day, so that was a pain in the butt, but you got to do it.
Yeah. So we have Tupac Cavalli joining us today. Let's add him on stream. Oh, what's up,
Hola.
Tupac Cavalli?
What's how long
Howdy.
you guys been starting?
Uh,
You guys been going very long?
your audio is a bit weak,
Week. Hello.
or is it my end?
I can hear him okay.
Hello.
Let's see. Anyways, if you guys can, maybe it's at my end. So what's up? So you have been around in the Hex Guild for since the beginning, I guess, or maybe at least since last year. So how has been your experience?
Since Hex Foodies, now it's Hex Guild, right? What was the mind child behind changing the name?
Uh, I, I have no idea. Like, uh, it wasn't my what you call my idea to change the name, but basically people were confusing foodies with people who post pics of their food on Instagram. So that was keeping a lot of people away, and which is kind of accurate. That is what most people understand as the urban dictionary meaning of foodies. So yeah, I think that's what prompted EcoBuilder to change the name to Hex Guild, which makes more sense. Like a group of people bought, like guild of workers helping each other, sharing knowledge. That's all we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hex Foodies was gain a little bit of traction with the name. At least it was like people could connect like food with Hex, and then it's just like making a transition from there, because food is really like the point of the whole like guild to begin with. It's like once you have food figured out, you have some substantiality to stand on, some footing.
I know it is kind of confusing when you tell people if they've joined the guild or if they're in the guild. They ask what is the guild. Whereas with foodies, it was not. You said it, and now they may have misinterpreted it and thought it was just talking about food. But meh, it's all good either way. All you gotta do is tell them it's looking to be more self-sufficient and produce quality products that are healthy and beneficial for you and everybody else.
Yeah, plus we can now like correlate it with a gaming guild kind of thing. I think the guy from the highest of stakes movie, like the economics professor, he put out a tweet regarding you can consider the hexicans like a guild in the gaming world, where like people with a common objective working together. So we have been working together, like yeah, we do share a lot of knowledge in the Telegram group and random stuff. I Some things I don't agree with, but hey, I give my advice whenever I can. Anyways, I didn't have any specific topic to discuss today. Do you?
Tupac I don't know if I've ever associated with you really. What I guess what brought you to the guild?
Heck, I joined when it was Hex Foodies. What's it called? The permaculture. That like this starting from the permaculture. There's like that's what I figured Hex Foodies basically was a permaculture group, and then it just like had the Hex Foodies name to try to hook people, and then it didn't work, so we changed it to the Hex Guild. But yeah, permaculture. I've got a little bit of land that I'm trying to do that with. I've got some pumpkins growing and some potatoes growing and some strawberries. Only a couple corns. That was one of the other things I wanted to bring up with the Hex Guild and being able to get. People met up for the highest of stakes movie, but if we need to have our own hex seed farm or whatever. Like when we have these meetups, we need to be like exchanging seeds with each other, which some people might already be. I would love to be. I need some good like Indian corn. I want to grow a bunch of that stuff.
That would be an awesome idea. Like you could do like seed swaps or trades, or just send them in the mail or whatever. That would be a great idea. Because I know I was just talking with an older friend of mine the other night, and he was talking about popcorn, because he still uses heirloom popcorn that his dad grew, and this guy, his dad's been dead for 30 years, but like the kernel or the kernels look a little bit different, and the actual cobs are different as well. But he gives popcorn to his friends and family, over Christmas time and all that type of stuff. But it's, that's just one of those things that, he saved seeds every year for the last however long they did it. And, he keeps reusing it because he says you can't get those type of seeds anymore.
Yeah, with the heirloom seeds or something, heirloom seeds.
Yeah, they would definitely be an heirloom seed. They're probably from like the 50s. But
Yeah, So, you were saying something. Uh, Awkward silence. But yeah, seeds are becoming rare in general. like I think there is a Indian activist in the USA. Her name is Vandana Shiva. You might have like if you me look watch any of the YouTube shorts or on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, everywhere she is like highly active against Bill Gates specifically. So she became very popular. So she had started something known as a seed, like not known as a seed bank, but she started a seed bank. She's in India, and she was one of the biggest activists preventing what is I think mining limestone in the northeast region of India. So she has done a lot of work. You can search her. Like she has given many TED talks, but I don't know whether people even listen to TED talks anymore. I think it was. I think everybody
Yeah.
has moved on. Plus, people don't have. I don't think people watch 2 hour or 30-minute length videos anymore. Like it's all shorts. People have like even on this channel, I see the average view duration is around 7 to 10 minutes. That's how much people can tolerate. Anyways, I
Tupac Cavelli,
went
have you been having? Are you in the States?
I can neither confirm or deny.
Well, have you been dealing with a drought?
No, it's been raining nonstop today and
Okay.
yesterday. And yeah, I'm situated amongst springs, so I'm pretty happy with the fertility of the location that I'm at.
Well, that's good at least. I mean, it had too much of a drought issue. I know when I was in Texas, the corn looked pretty rough and the beans looked really bad. They were in tough shape, but it's been 100+ degrees down there for the last, I don't know, it's got to be 2 months by now, 2.5 months, and they haven't had much for rain. So
yeah, I really want to get into I keep seeing the geothermal greenhouses. Like that would even work for, in Texas, because like if you dig down, you can keep, even in hot weather, you can have, if you're down like 8 feet, you can get like 55-degree temperatures, and that would help keep things a little bit cooler and help. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's what I mean. In the Southwest, they build, houses underground just because it's 110 degrees out there, and well, I mean, you walk inside and it's 65 or whatever. It's comfortable. Same thing happens in the wintertime if you're in the north as well. I would definitely do that if I was ever going to build a house. I would want to have like an underground like area where it would be like living space, in the summertime when it gets hot.
yeah.
Tupac Cabelli, do you do anything with like bees or other animals?
No, but I do have enough flowers where, I mean, I've got hornets trying to fucking kill me every day. So, but I do have, there's also some honeybees in the area. I've got a bunch of flowers, like for the pumpkin flowers that come out, and I've got another orange flower that the hummingbirds like and stuff. Yeah, I've been loving the bees. I've only been stung twice so far this summer, so.
Oh, that's good. Good.
The hornets are assholes, though.
Yeah, they are. They get to be kind of testy, especially now you're moving into the fall, so they're building up, getting ready to dispatch queens. So that'll be before it gets too cold, and they always get to be real aggressive at this point in time. There's a lot of numbers of them. They've been building up all summer.
Yeah, I can't stand them. I heard that they what they do they know that they're gonna die at the fall, so what they do is they eat the berries that have fallen on the ground and started to ferment, and they get all liquored up off the fermented berries, and then they just go on a murderous rage and try to kill whatever because they know they're going to die anyway. So they just, yeah, I got attacked pretty good last year, so I'm trying to avoid that this year, which it's kind of hard because these things are like everywhere.
Yeah, it's a losing battle basically. If you've got a good area that's got water nearby, and it's got fruit and flowers and other stuff like that, it doesn't matter what you do. I know the hornets and wasps are actually very beneficial in general to the ecosystem. So they eat a lot of pests. So I mean, they're not all bad. They may be assholes, but they're not all bad.
Yeah, they've pretty well left me alone so far. I'm just worried about the end of the year when they become suicidal kamikaze maniacs. Then it's a trouble time.
Go buy a bee suit. Go out and prune your pumpkins and look at them in a bee suit. I used to wear one when I was working bees. I had a yard that was in an area with a lot of mosquitoes. Like, if you stood outside for 10 minutes, you'd be bit, 50 or 100 times type of stuff. And I used to wear a bee suit just for the mosquitoes.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's been a lot less, other than hornets, like there's been a lot less bugs. I remember growing up, there was a lot more bugs. And it seems like they've dwindled over the years.
Yeah, I had mentioned that in a previous previous stream about where I live in the northern Midwest. It's agriculture. It's a pretty agriculture dense area. A lot of row crop. And I remember when I was a little kid, every time you went to fill up with gas, you'd have to wipe your windshield off because there'd be so many bugs on it. And now it doesn't seem like you do that but once or twice a year and you're fine.
Yeah, like the what is it? The Cruising USA game.
Yep.
They used to have the bugs on the windshield. Now there's barely any bugs out there.
I don't know. I don't want to say it's because of the way we farm, but I mean that's something that's definitely changed in the time when I was a little kid to now. I mean, it had to have had an effect. I'm not going to say it was the sole contributor, and I mean, there's been numerous studies throughout the world that have shown declines in overall, insects in general, just overall. So it is unfortunate. One other thing I'm trying to work with a couple of farmers near me is to plant their waterways, because in between the fields where the valleys are at, they don't plant those so it doesn't run off. But to plant those in like an alfalfa or a clover or something like that, so that it won't be a mile of just straight desert for other insects.
Desert one? Oh,
it's called it's a green desert. There's no food for them out there, because if you ever look in between like corn rows, it's dirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm more I don't know, there's a lot of people doing that out in Texas and stuff. I've heard about like the hugel mounds, but being able to coordinate the water is absolutely huge. I'm gradually doing that with my property, being able to get the water to run in different ways, and I got like a little pond set up that supposedly helps irrigate stuff. But yeah, I'm gradually working out my little property here and hoping to link up with enough hexagons to get some good seeds in every climate. I don't know if you've heard of the was a food forest guy, the Gale, if something Gale, I forget his name.
I don't recall his name, but I think I know who you're talking about. Is he the one in Canada?
No, I think he's in Florida.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got this spinach that I want to get a hold of that works in like every climate. You can basically just live off this spinach that he grows. But yeah, being able to get enough hexagons growing like the real, like some real abundant stuff, and just have like, if we had enough people with enough property in different locations, I mean, we're basically doing that, but we're basically coordinated with cities and people meeting up in cities. But to be able to get enough hexagons along the way that are got their own farms and stuff, I can't do cities. I'm more of a, you know, I like expanses of land and stuff.
Yeah, when we went out for the second night, it was the second night of the Austin meetup. It was, we went to, we were in the heart of Austin, and it was just, there's so many doggone people. I was stressing out the whole time. I'm not a big fan of that, because it's definitely different than where I come from. There's not that many people. You're never bumping into anybody, and it was crazy how crowded it was. It just felt crowded. It realistically wasn't that crowded, and it's not like New York, but I don't know. I don't like that. I'd much rather be out in the country where it's quiet and you can see the stars and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to go off on a tangent about the stars.
I will go on a little tangent. Like, for me, I am a city sleeker. What you call? I can only live in peace and quiet of the countryside for a few days. After that, like, I get those kind of what do you call shakes kind of thing. Like, yeah, no, I need that noise and chaos around me. That's just me.
I don't know how you guys sleep. There's always so many cars
Because
going by.
uh, basically at the like for me personally, I'm a, like a heavy sleeper. Like,
Oh, did we lose Diraj? No?
sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
you
I think
broke
I
up.
cut off in a between. So basically, once I'm asleep, like, maybe a nuclear bomb going off next to me might wake me up, but otherwise, I am very difficult to wake up. So I guess people adapt to whatever so anyhow, we have the what I was going to say was regarding the Hex Guild. Yeah, we are working together, and Davin has set up this treasury kind of thing, which we are supposed to, like, with the hex stake coming out every 6 months, and those hex are supposed to be used for doing something in the real world. like but uh, the last hex stake came out about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, and that we ended up restaking because Pulse Chain was just coming out. And I think we will be doing the same with this, the next one coming out in a few days, I guess, next month or something. But starting a seed bank is definitely something we can do with it, because now the what we can get for the stake is very minuscule.
Yeah, we can't get a bunch of lumber, but we could get some seeds for trees.
Yeah,
I mean, we
like,
could even use it to pay for postage.
Probably. That's another thing, like sending seeds across. I don't know how, like uh, you have to go through a lot of regulatory things when you are sending from a different country to like, because yeah, there is the people have realized that there is this risk of invasion, or invasive species. A little while ago in the Telegram group, but I didn't plant this. It has thorns. Uh, I did a reverse image search. It turned out to be West. Google says it is Western horse nettle, which belongs to the nightshade family. So it's probably poisonous. So that's. Uh, did I go off on a rant? Anyways, uh, what were you guys saying? So
Yeah, I'm not trying to do the invasive species, but I mean, there's enough people that know like different zones that grow well in, and I mean, yeah, if you're shipping stuff through the mail, I mean, I know Davin, Eco Builder. He's always sending postcards out anyway, so put a couple seeds in there. And I don't know if you've ever tried like Hawaiian baby primrose seeds, but you take a couple of those seeds, you're in for a fucking ride. But yeah, other seeds.
yeah,
Yeah, I want that spinach stuff, and I want some like Indian corn. I've got a ton of potatoes.
Do you grow onions and garlic?
No, that's I've got I think what is it, shallots or whatever, the green onions with the ones that,
Yep.
I don't, yeah, those have just been popping up, but I haven't grown any like bulb onions. I really, yeah, I need to do garlic real bad. Garlic's real good for you.
Are the onions? Do they have those like hollow tubes that come off, 3 or 4 of them? And is there like a little bulb on the bottom of it?
No, there's no bulb at the bottom. It's just those tube looking green onion things.
Okay.
And I got some tomatoes and watermelons are growing. Yeah, like a couple things going. It's my second year growing anything really, so just learning what grows best where I'm at. Trying to link up with y'all and figure out what and strawberries grow good in like colder climates. I'm loving that. I need to get a ton of strawberries.
Yeah, our strawberries and raspberries did really well this year. If this is the deal, you got to get them before the birds do, you know. So we've netted them all. So, and the birds still seem to get in there. You see them. They sit on the fence and then they'll poop on the fence right next to it, and it's purple. So like you got to get them before the birds do. But our tomatoes didn't do very well. I think it was too hot. But
yeah, I got to get them before the ants get them. If I wait like one day too long, then the ants start eating them. The strawberries. I haven't had any problem with birds yet. It's just been the ants.
So I've been birds are more bad on the or worse on the raspberries. I don't know. Birds don't really bother the strawberries, but like sometimes there's a few that'll get in there. But yeah, like I said, we did really good on strawberries and raspberries this year. And I don't know. I prefer raspberries over strawberries, but to each their own.
Yeah, you don't have to pick as many strawberries as raspberries. They're bigger, eh?
Yeah, and you don't have to fight through the thorns either.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I've got some red raspberry and blackberry bushes as well that I've been trying to put lanes in. They were just like big patches that you couldn't even really get into. So I like built little dugout things in between this stuff so I can actually get to them. But yeah, my setup's gradually growing. It's not going too fast, but it's it takes a lot of time to really get stuff going.
So yeah, yeah.
I got a question. One more question. Do you overseed in the wintertime? Like, do you put down like a grass seed or even a grain like a winter wheat or a rye or something like that? Do you overseed over winter?
No, the only thing that I did is like rake all the like garden seeds like into my like hugel mound, and like I didn't even plant pumpkins last year, and they ended up coming up. They started coming up this year, and it's just like, but yeah, I'm kind of like working with the wind and stuff. It's kind of cold where I'm at, so I'm trying to like build up different hugel mounds and different lanes. But no, I haven't figured too much for. I mean, I'll put like the brush or whatever, like try to pad down the old garden, try to like keep it, packed in with some debris or whatever. But I don't do too much to prepare for the winter.
Yeah, because we did that this year in our garden. It's between 1.25 acre approximately, and I help my mom and my sister. We all kind of work together on it, and we overseeded it last year with winter wheat, and that drastically, because in the spring, late spring, I guess, you got to go through and you crimp down you basically use a T-post and you tie a rope onto both ends, and you just basically lay it over, and you lay the overseed over, and then you crimp it, and it kills it, and it covers up the soil. So there's no, you dig a trench where you want to put your seeds at, and then it keeps weeds out of the garden. It really helped out a lot, like way more than you would imagine. And I know you can buy like winter wheat. You can get a 50-pound bag of it for, I don't know, $20, $25.
And like Tractor Supply.
Yeah, you could get seed wheat there, or else you can get it. There's got to be like a feed or a agriculture store. But yeah, you could get red wheat or winter wheat or barley, anything like that. And I know that
is it just like hay, like putting hay on it or something?
Well, you could use hay as well, but this is wheat. This is a grain. This is like what they make bread out of. So you throw that down like winter wheat. You throw it down and you cover it up. Just use a rake to like cover it up, and you water it, and then it'll sprout up a little bit. Get a couple inches tall, and then it'll freeze, or it'll go into winter, and then it'll come back up in the spring. And then by the time in the spring, April, early May, or April, May, for us, it'll be up to around your knee high. And then you just go through it and you tip it all over and you crimp it, and then it kills it. And then you plant your stuff in on top of it, or, dig a trench and you plant your stuff on top of it. And that padding, it'll give it, 2 inches or 3 inches of padding. So it'll shade the soil. So you don't have weeds that come up, because I'm sure if you've gardened, all about, pulling weeds.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'll have to YouTube that. And I think I got a little bit of winter wheat, maybe. We got some wheat growing a little bit. I don't know, but not a bunch.
It also loosened our soil up quite a bit. We noticed it really loosened the soil up a lot, like because it gets a root structure underneath of it in the ground, and it seemed to help. Like I said, the biggest reason we did it was for so it reduced weeding, because we used to use those black sheets. I don't know, they're like 3 feet wide, and you roll them out, and then you poke holes in your spots where you want the.
Yeah, I can't stand those. I'm digging that up like every day. I'm digging up pieces of that crap out of my yard.
Yeah, and
for the
that stuff
last owner.
stinks to use. It's okay to use for 1 year, but by the second year it gets degraded, and then you end up, like you said, you'll lose pieces of it. Pieces will get cut off, and then you'll find it in the soil when you go ahead and find it again. So that always stinks. But yeah, if you look up overseeding, it's a pretty common thing, and it's becoming more and more popular with gardeners just because it reduces your workload. Like in the fall after you've harvested everything, just like I said, go ahead and put the seed on fairly heavy, and because it's not expensive, and then just cover it up and water it, and it'll sprout, and then it'll go dormant when it gets cold, and voila, it'll come back up in the spring.
Is
So
that
sorry. So basically, if you are going to YouTube it, search for cover crops, cover COVER crops. So again, this is one of the
cover
principles of permaculture.
cover
Cover,
crops?
as in,
Yes.
yeah. So again, this is one of the principles of permaculture. I think Jeff Lawton, he puts it in the best way. Like, mm, the earth doesn't like to be naked. Not leave the soil naked at any time. The other option to it is either mulching with dry grass material or wood chips, but this one is cheaper, faster, and since we have testimony of Marcus that it works very well, so yeah, maybe try it next time. For
Yeah.
where I farm, like, not I, but it's my cousins who do all the farming. The like we grow like a tropical region. We don't have the problem of wintering, so we don't need it. We have, like, we just rotate crops between grain and pulses, like legumes and cereal. So legumes help fix the nitrogen, and grains use it up. And yeah, that is also another advantage of doing it. Crops develop bacteria which fix nitrogen into the soil, make it more fertile. The Yeah, so search for cover crops. Hope this is useful. Anyways,
Yeah. The worst part about it is having to go ahead and, at the end or at the spring is to break it or crimp it over. That's the worst part. That part kind of stinks, but like I said, for the amount of time that you save doing it, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'm looking into it a little bit, trying to.
you can do that later. There is still time to but anyways, the other thing, nothing. Yeah, if you guys, sorry, I have to do this today. Like, one of the most proud day to be Indian, because we had ISRO, that is the Indian Space Research Organization, just landed its rover on the far side of the moon. So everybody in India is celebrating. I know there are certain people in this community, the Hex Guild itself,
Yeah, and I'm
that
one of them.
believe, yeah,
I'm
believe that
definitely
space
one of
is
them.
fake. Yeah,
Yeah, that
space is
video,
fake. But
whatever
you
video
can,
they have of that landing is bogus.
yeah, yeah. So you can believe what you want. I'm just happy, whatever. At least the US gave us the authority to spread that video around the world, so I am happy.
Yeah, you can't go to
And
Antarctica, but India's gone to the dark side of the moon. Give me a break.
yeah. Anyways, other than that, so the chat is awfully silent. We don't have Davin to be talking around. We covered most of the topics. The
The zero
Hex
topics we
Guild,
had set up for the bullet points, they've been covered so far.
yeah,
But but pushing NASA propaganda's on the list.
yeah. Not anyways, where was I? Like anything else? Uh, I'm running blank. No, the I'm just searching for a thing. Usually, I write down things to some to discuss. But
What do you think about
no,
the Hawaii
I think
stuff?
I have.
Have you been keeping up on any of the Hawaii
Uh,
fires?
so the thing is, we had a typhoon here in the Philippines itself, which affected me more. So I it's a sad thing to happen in Hawaii, but anyways, I can move on. But yeah, it definitely feels like arson, not a natural disaster. It definitely feels like arson. Like
I say,
It would appear to be strange. I
what
mean,
about
I'm not.
what about the typhoon where you're at? Do you think that's anything? You think that's a
no,
natural occurrence?
e- at least like we have typhoon season here every year, like so it happens every year. So
So it's more
nothing.
devastating, even though they see it coming every year. It was more devastating than the thousands of
And
people who died on the Hawaii thing.
not no, we were like there are preparations and evacuation plans already in place, but yeah, a few lives were lost, some, but not as it wasn't as devastating as the Hawaiian fires, but it was closer to me, so I am affected more, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
I'm also looking at the hurricane that's hitting California. That's interesting as well. At least they're getting some rain over there, I suppose. I don't know if it's quite the amount of rain that they wanted, but the whole Southwest is going to get some rain, so
Yeah,
that'll be a benefit.
maybe we'll clean up the Skid Row down there a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't bet on that. They gave them the hotels to stay in, so they're fine. Probably even give them new tents too.
Yeah, probably. D-Raj, or do you know anything about like have you seen any of that stuff with like the lasers not being able to hit like blue, the color blue? Does your doctorate degree go into lasers and the color blue at all?
Mm, no, that is not my specialty, or I don't have any knowledge regarding lasers as such. But in general, uh, yeah, like certain frequencies reflect from certain colors. So if it was blue, like it will reflect blue, not absorb the energy. So
Do you
that
know
why
the
that's
do you know the
that.
frequency number of blue that would lead to that situation? Is there a certain spectrum the color blue has?
Uh, I will have to ask Bing. being AI for to give me those exact numbers, etc. But I guess that's my like hypothesis, like because uh, simple example I would say is if you are like trying to burn paper using a magnifying glass, try doing it on a pure white paper versus uh, maybe a different color paper, even a
Oh,
little
maybe the
offset.
darker color.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the darker color absorbs energy faster or more
Yeah,
energy.
I used to do that with a magnifying glass all the time, burn shit and stuff. But I don't
Like,
I haven't done it tested. That could be a science project. That'd be hilarious. I'm
like
sure my kids will have to do
you
another
know,
science project, and that'll be it. This is how Hawaii disasters are kept from happening. You gotta become the Blue Man Group.
but no, this is like I used to do it a lot because hey, grandma had a magnifying glass so she could read. So she when she was not working, we didn't have mobile phones when we were young. So these were the things we kept ourselves entertained with. And that was my observation. Like white paper burned slower than different colored paper if it was really reflective, like pure white versus grayish or brownish paper. Like so, yeah. Uh, that's probably what happened. Like
Oh yeah, I was trying to correlate the two with the you know how BTC Bitcoin used to have the laser eyes. If that was like predictive programming to help usher in our subconscious to destroy Hawaii.
It does seem
uh,
strange. I don't know what happened. I just heard what was on the news, but it does seem kind of weird how it all went down. You know, apparently those people were not willing to sell their properties, and that now they're gone. And now the government stepped in right away and
Yeah,
said, "Hey, we're looking to reconstruct these properties in a specific manner."
yeah, and the guy from the Vegas shooting that happened there, the main guy in charge, like just coincidentally was moved over to Hawaii and was the main person in charge over there while this all took place. It's just like as if people are just completely retarded or something and don't
The
correlate the two.
other stuff that I have heard was that they didn't sound alarms in a timely fashion. Water was not available in a timely fashion, which, that's kind of weird. Like wildfires don't just start. You know what I mean? Like they start out slow before they get big. So it's not like they didn't know they were there.
Yeah, right. In a tropical jungle, like I'm sure things aren't just gonna catch on fire in a humid tropic place. Like it's not the desert. Like yeah, I'm sure they would have had time to do something, but unless I don't know who's that, the main one of the Pomp, fucking Pomp was shooting lasers out of his eyes over there.
I mean,
yeah, and I think the Simpsons predicted it. There was a video of that as well. Like Mr. Burns has a giant magnifying glass in space, and he uses it like a laser.
Yeah, I've heard it as like concept of priming the pump. It's like being able to get people to go along with certain stories because they've heard it so many times that it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's not that big of a deal. It's just like it's easier for them to deal with ridiculous concepts when they've been fed it over a certain amount of years. Yeah, and then Canada. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos. I mean, It was a wild video. It was just like nothing else was on fire other than the houses. Yet it was like a forest fire. Yeah, it was like there was a guy on a boat like doing a video, and it was like just the houses. So that like got me thinking it could have been like the smart meters or something in the house that could have caught on.
What is it? What is their construction down there? Is it stick? Is it like 2x4s and whatnot, or is it like clay or concrete? I guess. I mean, obviously, it'd have to be something flammable.
Yeah, it's not much of a permaculture if you can, if it's flammable beams. There's nothing permanent about that if the culture catches on fire.
Well,
so we got to think ahead now. It's like, oh, there's zapping shit out of the sky.
Well, don't worry. They'll have your 15-minute city built before you know it.
Yeah. Made out of like inhumane materials that keep you detached from nature.
Another thing that I had read, I even heard that on the news as well, is that they were requesting DNA samples from all the residents to verify potentially missing persons. That's another sketchy thing that I heard that was kind of questionable.
Yeah, I love that when they, I mean, not really sarcastically, but yeah, they do that. They pass that into law where they just like for any reason can collect your DNA, and then they could patent it and just own you. Like, it's so stupid.
Well, if you willingly give it to them, that's different. Like this is it's a request, but I don't know.
A request that if you don't, go along with, I mean, in different situations, it's considered, I mean, you can get charged or whatever if you don't go along with it, which is trash, which, I mean, they could have done to them in one way or another. It's like, oh yeah, if you don't give us your DNA, then you don't get your rations of these supplies that are coming.
Yeah, it's sketchy all over. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't want to be too conspiracy theory types, but sometimes it just makes you wonder, like, what's really going on. Which, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I've been looking into this stuff as much as possible. One of the other things I was like looking at with it was the dude that was on with dollar cost crypto GG33. He was talking about the LGBTQ flag and how it's like an inverse replication of your chakra system, how they're like, satanically inverting your chakra system, and that they're doing with the like ley lines of the planet, that the root chakra of the planet is in San Francisco. So that's why they've been demoralizing and degrading the chakra system of the planet to just make us all and live in a lower dimensional reality, basically. Like, it's working on a certain amount of the populace, but I don't know how dumb people can be to just like not see this stuff when it starts getting so obvious.
I mean, people are taught not to ask questions. I mean, you can't, if that's what you're taught ever since you were a little kid, go to work, do your job, don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't farm, don't save, don't invest, don't educate yourself on finances, become a debt wage slave for your entire life. Those are things that Richard Hart did not speak about. But he's not talking that much these days.
I mean, it's no different than look at what the Netherlands did. The Netherlands is a huge agricultural capital in Europe, and they're really cutting that back, and they're replacing it with your lab grown meat now, which I'm not cool on that. That's not okay for me.
The farmers in the Netherlands, You cut out a second on me.
Yeah, yeah. Farm. Sorry,
The ag base
I'm
in the
audible.
Netherlands is being cut down. Like they're reducing the amount of animals that they can have, and there's a breaking point eventually. But they're reducing the amount of animals that they can have, and they're also going through and registering them, kind of like what they're doing in Finland. So you got to have registered. You got X number. This is the number you have, and this is the number you can have, which is pretty crazy as well. I don't really agree with that either. But
Let's see if let's clarify, since Finbear is in chat. Like I that you need to register your chickens with the locality or the local government to be raising chicken, if I recall correctly. But yeah, this is like, some things are like crazy. Like yeah, sometimes like, not sometimes, but I know something is wrong, and I'm just trying to get to the root of it, and somehow I get a feeling I am. But look at everything wrong. Just I was just looking at the keyboard, and I was thinking about this a long time back as well. Look at the QWERTY keyboard. The spacing between the keys, like it's designed so that the keys aren't exactly aligned, like one below the other. Now that design was done because of times, like so that it we were like they were physical keys, we needed space. That has gone away. We are using electronic switches, yet we continue to use the same layout. Like at what time do we realize that we have better options available, but I still continue to do crazy stuff, like use old dilapidated technology. But speaking about that, like the thing with artificial meat itself, like it raises so many questions. Plus, it's not economically viable. They say that yeah, it will be cheaper to produce artificial meat. N- no, it's not. The machinery, the energy cost, the what you call input material, like the chemicals required to grow that meat, they cost much more. Because and the reason is, and that's the main reason we don't have it by now, because the technology that is used for growing lab grown meat has been available since a long time ago. If it was financially viable, we would have had it by now. So I don't think it is happening. It's just like people are being kept under this confusion, the haze, like, or a threat that something bad is going to happen. Nothing happens. Like, anyways, I went
well,
off on a tangent. Sorry.
To lower the frequency of the planet. That's the only reason why they're getting away with any of it. To keep people in a fear-based mentality for as long as possible. I mean, all of the technology already exists. It's just there's so few people that know, like, how to make it. Basically, that's it. It's like, and they cover it up so much. Like, I don't know if you've heard, like, talk to the Mad Energy guy. That Chris, the one lady, she's in Crypty Girl or whatever. She was into that. But I mean, they've got technology where they can tap into the geothermal core of the earth over there in Idaho or whatever, where they got more geothermal stuff. They can tap into that, and then it can go into an antenna and then give like internet and and electricity, like energy through like wireless systems. Like they already have this technology. It's just like we'd rather bail out Ukraine trillions of dollars than invest in any type of infrastructure that would actually help mankind. Like that's not the agenda of people that have the funds available. That is that they would rather keep us dumb, poor, and murdering each other. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
We gotta somehow combat all the psychological programming that keeps people locked into stupid.
Well, I mean, look at I don't know how old either one of you are, but I know in the United States, when I was going to school, we had terrible food. Like the food that was provided at school was terrible. It was like literal.
Yeah, they're able to make ketchup one of the vegetables because they just, oh yeah, well, ketchup has tomatoes in it, so that's their vegetable dietitian serving. And then they make, yeah.
Either way, the overall quality of it was incredibly low, and I'm sure it's similar now. But when I came out of high school, I didn't really feel like I learned a whole lot. I Thankfully my school had a decent math teacher who taught us, like what a credit card is, what a loan is, that type of stuff. But realistically, I mean, how many people, if you walk down the street, understand what what an 18% loan is going to cost you, over 2 years or whatever. Like most people don't grasp that. It's most people also can't handle cash very well. Like if you give them $1,000 in cash, they'll have it spent before they buy stuff that they need with it. That's kind of what I was getting at before about, just go to work, do your job, and don't ask questions. Like so many people have been fed low quality food for their whole lives that their brains, like don't function normally. You're not seeing stuff that you should see. And
Yeah.
I'm using food as it's realistically garbage in, garbage out type of deal. Like if you switch your diet up to highly nutritious food, you feel better. You have more energy. You're overall brighter. You're a brighter person to be around. Because I don't eat a whole lot of food that's outside of 30 miles of my house. Everything I get, not everything, a lot of what I get is sourced within that 30-mile range. So like I have a little different perspective than, Diraj, who goes and gets the McDonald's or whatever. Sorry, Diraj, I'm picking on you. But I tried to eat McDonald's the other
It's
day,
true.
and I ate half of a hamburger, a hamburger and fries, which was $13 or $14, and I couldn't even finish it. It made me like physically sick. But
Yeah. What I heard a couple funny things about McDonald's, but one of the things with blemishes in them, and there's something that they have to put over the potatoes, and it's like the people that end up using, like, growing those potatoes, like, I don't know, something happens to them or something. Like, it's just like, yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
So
Like even the
yeah,
production of their fries.
yeah. But
yeah. So
well,
it's a very famous story. The rustic Burbank potatoes, which are known for their long length, which is why they are used for making those long fries for McDonald's. Now it's a patented potato variety, and it needs to be cultivated using a specific uh, herbicide not herbicide.
Is it Agent
Herbicide,
Orange?
which it's almost like it's almost like Agent Orange. Like once that spread, you go around for about a week or even a month. I think not. I rated, but a couple of you cannot even go in the area when or the field when you that the agent has been spread. So yeah, there is, but McDonald's fries, I find them very tasty. I'm okay. Uh, I just had them a couple of days ago. Anyways, if I die, I die. Uh, so I was looking at chat. We Finber was saying no one knows who has the chicken. So we are supposed to register everything, dogs, cats, and all. Uh, and he's
Microwaves and
not going to
TVs.
comply. So basically, uh, Finbear doesn't have any chicken in his at his place, is what he's trying to say. Wink,
Uh-oh.
wink.
Yeah, like I know, like there are certain. I think the state of California wants you to register all of your beehives. So, like if you have X number, you basically you register them. It's not you're not registering them necessarily, but you have a permit to use them or to have them. And like if you travel with them, if you're going to be a migratory beekeeper, you have to have them inspected typically for like if you're going to go from whatever Iowa or South Dakota to Texas, you have to have them inspected because both states are going to require you to show proof of health, so you're not like bringing unhealthy colonies with. But it doesn't have, I don't think it has like a number on there, so like it's a headache, but I would try and comply as little as possible with that. Like a lot of cities where I'm at, you can have chickens in your backyard and you don't have to tell anybody. As long as you have under like, I think it's like 50 or 100 chickens, so you can't have more than like 50 of them or something like that. But
Yeah,
50 chickens is a lot.
Make them come out and count.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like who's actually going to come out and verify you have 54 chickens?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to chickens yet. I'm almost there. I got to get a coffin freezer to be able to. If you get like 50 chickens, you got to. I mean, how much meat is that? That's take up your whole freezer.
6 to. I mean, you can get them to be pretty big. My buddy harvested like 700 of them, and I think the average weight was like, people like them a little bit smaller, like 3 to 4 pounds, but he let his go a little long because he just ran out of time, so they were like 5 to 7 pounds. But he had a couple of them that I bought to get them for a really decent price because they were like 8-pound chickens, 9-pound chickens. They were big chickens.
I know a couple big chickens.
They make awesome, roasting chickens. You put them in, they'll take up a crock pot and you put peppers and potatoes and carrots and asparagus in there, or whatever, onions, and you just stuff the chicken full and you put some broth or water on top of it, and it's really good. Like one chicken will feed the whole family, and you'll have leftovers.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the point where I want to start killing chickens yet.
It's pretty easy. It's not too bad. Go buy a traffic cone.
Kind of want to get a sheep so I don't have to mow the grass as much.
Sheep, and also sheep milk is actually really good.
Goat milk sucks. I can't stand goat milk.
It's different than goat milk. Goat milk is not. I don't like goat milk.
Sheep milk is.
Yeah, the Amish around us, if they don't have cows, they have sheep, because goat milk sucks and sheep milk is actually a lot better. I don't know what they yield, but they're like they're not a hair sheep, so like they're not like you're not going to yield wool off of them.
See, that's interesting. How much? I mean, yeah, you don't need too much milk, but yeah.
I mean, if you had 2 or 3 sheep, you'd have probably a few gallons every day for their gestate or for their milking cycle before they dry up.
That might be the ticket. That'd be easier than a cow.
Yeah.
To deal with than a cow. Sheep probably, and they I'm definitely thinking about that.
Cows are big, and they and one cow will produce you, 3 to probably 2 to 5 gallons of milk every day. So, if you could get a couple sheep, and you can probably rent a ram, so you don't have to have a ram all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of sheep will throw twins, so you can castrate the males, and you've got sheep, or I don't know, what do they call that for meat, but I call it sheep.
Mutton?
Is it mutton? That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
Yes.
But sheep is actually very good. It tastes good.
Yeah, my favorite morning cartoon show was Lamb Chop, which is a rude thing to call a fucking puppet the kids watch.
Well, no, if I was going to have a milking animal, it'd probably be sheep, because they're a little easier to work with. They're not, cows are easy to work with too, but they're just bigger, and they take up a lot more space. They take up a lot more resources. They're slower. They don't grow as fast. If you calve a cow, it'll be between 18 and 24 months before it's finished out and ready to go to the slaughter plant. Whereas a sheep is like 10, I believe, around 10 months, like 6 to 10 before it's up to weight.
How would you keep one of them warm in the wintertime?
They got fur. Put up a wind block for them, I guess, if they can stand behind the wind block, but it's no different than cattle. Like, make sure they got food and water, and they got fur. You're not running a hotel for them.
Yeah.
Keep them so that they're not going to get wet. Like put up a wind block or something like that. They can hide behind in the wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty tough animals. They can handle the cold. We have plenty of sheep up here in the northern Midwest, and they do fine. If they've got somewhere to hide from the wind, they're okay.
You up there in Minnesota?
No, a little south of there.
I'm
out of Wisconsin, so
yeah, I think you're pretty close to people I know. Yeah. Any have you ever heard of the stringites?
Stringites?
What?
Yes.
I have not.
Up on the waters of Wisconsin. It was a faction of the Mormons.
Well, we do have Mormons up here. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, Stringites is just an offshoot of the Mormons. They tried to like take over the Mormons. They actually got the mother of the Mormon guy to started being a Stringite.
Well, that I have not heard of. I know there are Mormons up in this area where I'm at, but yeah, I have not heard anything about that.
I'm cutting out, sorry.
Well, I've got to get heading out here, so it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and I will have to catch you next week.
Yeah,
Right on.
let's. We have passed the 1 hour mark, anyways. We will end this stream. If you guys want to hang out, we can do that in the Telegram chat. The link is in the description. Please join us. And I think I am going to. This would be the season finale for season 2 of the Hex Guild. From next week, we will start talk more different topics we would like to cover. S- Things like lasers and directed energy weapons, maybe.
I'm on board for
But
that.
let's see what happens. See you guys next week. Ciao. Let me play our advertise for the Hexico in Zanzibar. We'll see you next week. Okay. Oops.
The vision is to create the dream community, a retreat center, eco-village, sports facility, festival ground, to just really create the most beautiful place on earth.
So I'm taking on my biggest project ever, and I'm looking for the right people to embark on this journey with me. Thus far, I've been investing the amount of resources I have into this, and together with a small team of dedicated people, we've been able to get water access, electricity is being set up, and the first bungalow is due to be finished in a couple of weeks. And that's just the beginning. And Zanzibar is the perfect place to do this. Both because it's the most stunningly wonderful, tropical, exotic paradise, but also because there's so much potential to help the local community who are craving to enjoy the same opportunity as the rest of the world. Like proper co-working spaces with computers connected to the internet, professional sports talent development centers, proper waste management system. There will be retreats, workshops of different kinds, movie theater, lookout tower, basketball court, tennis court, football court, and natural coral rock pools, sustainable agriculture, music studio, podcasting studio, acrobatic park, yoga platforms. A place to develop talent and creativity in all shapes and forms, in a free place in the middle of nature, in tune with earth, as it should be. It's about giving value, it's about seeing the value we all inhabit, and it's about creating a new beginning in a society where we've forgotten who we are. I believe the future is held by those who come together in love, who understand that we are so connected, that we ultimately are one, and create from there, from the grassroots, where we have decided our own rules.